Hello, and a truly warm welcome to you. I'm Mary, and I'm so glad you've chosen to spend some time with me today. Starting something new often feels like standing at the edge of a big forest. It's exciting, sure, but maybe a little overwhelming too, with so many different paths you could take. If you're listening, chances are you've heard about something called IELTS, and you're looking for a friendly voice to help light the way. Well, you're in exactly the right place. I absolutely love helping people understand language learning and tests. And today, our focus is all on the IELTS exam. What is it? Why is it so important? What can you actually expect if you decide to take it? These are all perfectly natural questions, and I want to answer them clearly, warmly, and with insights that I hope will leave you feeling not just informed, but really empowered. Let's think of this as a chat, a chance for us to explore what IELTS is all about together, so you can move forward with confidence and a clear idea of what's next. So, let's take a deep breath, settle in, and begin our journey into the world of IELTS. So, what exactly is this IELTS exam we hear so much about? Well, IELTS stands for the International English Language Testing System. That's quite a mouthful, isn't it? But at its heart, it's a globally recognized test designed to assess the English language proficiency of people who want to study, work, or migrate to countries where English is the primary language of communication. Think of it as a key that can unlock doors to new opportunities, whether that's pursuing higher education at a university in Australia, advancing your career in Canada, or starting a new life with your family in the UK or New Zealand, among many other places. Millions of these tests are taken every year, and it's accepted by thousands of organizations worldwide, including universities, employers, professional bodies, and immigration authorities. So it's not just any English test. It's one of the most trusted and widely accepted measures of English language ability across the globe. Its purpose, really, is to provide a fair, accurate, and reliable assessment of your ability to communicate in English in real-life situations. It's not about trick questions or testing obscure grammar rules you'll never use. It's about seeing how well you can understand, speak, read, and write in English in practical contexts. Now, one of the first and most important things to understand about IELTS is that it comes in two main versions, or modules as they're often called. IELTS Academic and IELTS General Training. It's absolutely crucial that you choose the right one for your specific needs, because they are designed for different purposes, and the organizations you're applying to will specify which one they require. So, who takes which? The IELTS Academic Test, as the name suggests, is generally for those who are planning to pursue higher education, undergraduate or postgraduate studies, in an English-speaking environment. It's also often required for professional registration in fields like medicine, nursing, engineering, or accounting. The tasks and texts in the academic module are geared towards the kind of language you'd encounter in an academic setting. On the other hand, the IELTS General Training Test is typically for individuals who are going to English-speaking countries for secondary education, work experience, training programs, or for migration purposes. If you're looking to move to countries like Australia, Canada, New Zealand, or the UK, immigration authorities will often require a general training test result. The focus here is more on everyday English language skills needed in broad social and workplace contexts. So, how do they differ? And where are they similar? Well, the good news is that the listening and speaking sections are exactly the same for both academic and general training candidates. Everyone takes the same test for these two skills, which is wonderful because it means any preparation you do for listening and speaking will be relevant no matter which module you choose. The differences lie in the reading and writing sections. These are tailored to the different purposes of the two modules. We'll delve into the specifics of these differences a little later when we explore each section in detail. But for now, just remember, listening and speaking are common ground. Reading and writing are where the paths diverge. Making that initial choice correctly, academic or general training, is your very first step to success. Always check with the institution or organization you're applying to confirm which module they require. All right, Now that we understand the two main versions, let's take a closer look at the heart of the exam, the 4 sections that make up the IELTS test. Every candidate, whether academic or general training, will be assessed on these 4 core language skills: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. The total test time is around 2 hours and 45 minutes, not including breaks. The listening, reading, and writing sections are all completed on the same day, one after the other, with no breaks in between. The speaking test might be on the same day, or it could be up to 7 days before or after the other sections. Let's start with the listening section. This takes about 30 minutes, plus an extra 10 minutes at the end if you're taking the paper-based test, to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. If you're taking the computer-delivered test, you'll type your answers directly as you listen, so there's no separate transfer time, just a couple of minutes at the end to check your work. The listening test is divided into 4 sections, each with 10 questions, making a total of 40 questions. You only hear each recording once, so focused attention is absolutely key. Section 1 is usually a conversation between 2 people set in an everyday social context. For example, you might hear someone making an inquiry about a service. Section 2 is typically a monologue, again set in an everyday social context, perhaps a speech about local facilities. Section 3 is a conversation between up to 4 people, set in an educational or training context, like students discussing an assignment. This section often tests your ability to follow a discussion with multiple speakers. And Section 4 is a monologue on an academic subject, such as a university lecture. This is usually the most challenging section. You'll encounter a variety of question types, including multiple choice, matching information, labeling diagrams, and completing notes or sentences. The recordings feature a range of accents, reflecting the international nature of English. What skills are being tested here? Well, it's your ability to understand main ideas, specific factual information, the opinions and attitudes of speakers, the purpose of what's being said, and your ability to follow the development of ideas. A few gentle tips for your listening preparation. Practice active listening in your daily life. Listen to a variety of English accents. When you practice with IELTS materials, get used to the different question types and learn to anticipate what kind of information you need to listen for. Next up is the reading section. This test lasts for 60 minutes, and there's no extra time to transfer answers, so you need to write your answers directly onto the answer sheet, or type them in within that hour. Again, there are 40 questions in total. Now, this is where we see a significant difference between the academic and general training modules. For IELTS academic reading, you'll be presented with 3 long texts, which are taken from books, journals, magazines, and newspapers. These texts are authentic and are written for a non-specialist audience, but they are academic in nature. For IELTS general training reading, the texts are different. Section 1 usually contains 2 or 3 short factual texts you might encounter in everyday life, like notices or advertisements. Section 2 typically contains 2 short factual texts focusing on work-related issues, such as job descriptions. Section 3 contains 1 longer, more complex text on a topic of general interest. Regardless of whether you're taking academic or general training, you'll face a wide array of question types, like multiple choice, true, false, not given, matching headings to paragraphs, and sentence completion. The reading test assesses a broad range of reading skills, including reading for gist, main ideas, detail, understanding inferences, and following an argument. My advice for tackling the reading section: time management is absolutely critical. Practice skimming and scanning, build your vocabulary consistently, and of course, familiarize yourself thoroughly with all the different question types. Now let's move on to the writing section. This also lasts for 60 minutes, and it consists of 2 tasks, Task 1 and Task 2. It's really important to manage your time well here. It's generally recommended that you spend about 20 minutes on Task 1 and about 40 minutes on Task 2 because Task 2 contributes more to your overall writing score. And just like the reading section, the writing tasks are different for IELTS academic and IELTS general training. Let's look at IELTS academic writing first. For Task 1, you'll be presented with some visual information, perhaps a graph, table, chart, or diagram, and you'll be asked to describe, summarize, or explain it in at least 150 words. For task 2, you'll be asked to write an essay of at least 250 words in response to a point of view, an argument, or a problem. Now for IELTS general training writing. For task 1, you'll be presented with a situation and asked to write a letter of at least 150 words, perhaps requesting information or explaining something. Task 2 is also an essay of at least 250 words, similar in format to the academic task 2, but often on topics of more everyday relevance. For both modules, your writing is assessed on 4 criteria: task achievement or response, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, and grammatical range and accuracy. Some gentle guidance: always plan your answers before you start writing. Pay close attention to the word count. Practice writing different types of essays and letters or reports, and always leave a few minutes at the end to proofread. And finally, we arrive at the speaking section. As I mentioned earlier, this part of the test is the same for both academic and general training candidates. It's a face-to-face interview with a certified IELTS examiner, or it can be done via a video call, but it's always a live, interactive conversation. The speaking test is recorded, and it usually lasts between 11 and 14 minutes. It's divided into 3 parts. Part 1 is an introduction and interview, lasting 4-5 minutes, where the examiner asks general questions about yourself and familiar topics. Part 2 is the individual long turn, taking 3 to 4 minutes. You'll be given a card with a topic, have 1 minute to prepare, and then speak for 1 to 2 minutes. Part 3 is a two-way discussion for 4-5 minutes, where the examiner asks further questions related to the Part 2 topic, encouraging more abstract discussion. Your speaking performance is assessed on fluency and coherence, lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy, and pronunciation, which is about clarity, not having a specific accent. My warmest advice: practice speaking English as much as possible. Try to extend your answers. Listen carefully. It's okay to take a brief moment to think, and please, don't try to memorize answers. Genuine communication is key. And if you're looking for more detailed breakdowns of each section, or perhaps some practice tips and strategies to help you prepare, do check out our Educate Flow channel. We have a wealth of resources there, designed to help you on your IELTS journey. So, you've completed all 4 sections. How is the IELTS test scored? IELTS chooses a 9-band scoring system. You'll receive a band score for each of the 4 sections, from Band 1 to Band 9, and an overall band score, which is the average. Scores can be whole bands, like 6.0, or half bands, like 6.5. Each band score corresponds to a descriptive statement of English language ability. For example, a Band 7 is a good user, while a Band 9 is an expert user. Most institutions will specify the minimum band scores they require. Knowing all this, how can you best prepare for the IELTS exam? Well, there's no magic formula, but a structured and consistent approach works wonders. First, understand the test format thoroughly. Practice regularly. Work on all 4 skills, especially your weaker areas. Familiarize yourself with all the question types. Take mock tests under timed conditions. Continuously work on improving your general English proficiency, especially vocabulary and grammar, and if possible, seek feedback on your writing and speaking. You might be wondering, why is IELTS so important and so widely respected? Well, its global recognition is a huge factor, understood in over 140 countries. There's also a strong emphasis on fairness and reliability. The test is developed by leading experts, and examiners undergo rigorous training. The content aims to be relevant to real-life situations. And so, we've journeyed through the landscape of the IELTS exam. We've looked at what it is, who it's for, what it contains, and how it's assessed. I hope this exploration has brought clarity and perhaps even a little bit of excitement for the path ahead. Remember, the IELTS exam is more than just a test. It's a stepping stone, a facilitator of dreams and ambitions. It's a way to demonstrate the language skills you've worked so hard to develop. The journey of preparing for it is also a journey of growth in your English abilities. Please know that it's natural to feel a mix of emotions when facing such a significant undertaking. but with understanding, with dedicated preparation, and with a belief in yourself, you are more than capable of achieving your goals. Every question you practice, every essay you write, every conversation you have in English moves you one step closer. Thank you so much for joining me today. I truly hope this has been helpful. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to our Educore Flow channel for more insights, tips, and guidance on your English learning and IELTS preparation. We're here to support you every step of the way. Believe in your ability, embrace the preparation process, and look forward to the opportunities that await. I wish you all the very best on your IELTS journey.